Sure.
Всем привет! Сегодня у нас в гостях фаундер 0chain Saswata Basu и основатель форума TP0X Леха. Мы сегодня проведем такой мини-ама. Вопросов просто накопилось много. И потом мы сделаем summary небольшой, после того, как уже все вопросы уже проведем ама. То есть мы не будем прерываться, там, переводить, то есть мы будем сейчас спрашивать, и потом в конце, если у вас будет желание, можете задавать вопросы в чатике. Так что мы, в принципе, начнем. Hi, Saswatu. Can you please tell about your project for new guys? What
Sure.
is it?
Thank you very much for having me on your show, Alexei and Encrypted. I really, value in terms of your community reach within Russia. So I'm glad to be here. So one of the things about our project is that we are decentralizing storage, number one. Number two is that our token is a new type of crypto asset. It is tied to data. So other than usage, so you can use the token for just like any other crypto, but it has a value based on how much data is stored on the network. And we have an application out that users can use when the mainnet is live. In fact, you can test it out on beta. It's in beta stage right now, which is called ZeroBox. And people will be able to use it to store their videos and photos. And, no one can see it. You don't need logins. You don't need emails. So it's all private. It's all anonymous. Perfect for crypto users.
Okay, and can you tell a little bit more about your product ZeroBox? If I understand right, it's mostly for non-crypto users, and it's more for adoption, no?
Yes, so it's basically focused on people who are using, let's say, Dropbox today or pCloud. So it has a mass appeal. You can use your credit card and use a ZeroBox for storing your, for your backup, for your photos and videos, and no one can see your images. You can share it with your friends and family. It's basically a private version of Dropbox, and for crypto users, they can use ZCN to basically pay for storage directly. In fact, control their accounts directly, which is kind of interesting thing because on our network, you get 10% interest if you lock tokens. Now, you could use that interest that you receive, which, by the way, you receive immediately. So let's say I lock 1,000 tokens, you get 10% back. So 100 tokens you get back immediately. Now, with those 100 tokens, I can actually get free storage, which is a cool thing. So you could pay for your storage. You could get essentially free storage by locking tokens on our network.
Okay, and first question from our users was about ZeroBox, and if I understand right, the ZeroBox avoid ZCN token, and the question is why you don't want to use on-ramp solution plus is integrated decentralized exchange, for example, Uniswap, instead of separate these users from crypto and token at your ZeroBox application.
Right. So, so there was a question in the community, and we listened to the community, and we are including the option to use ZCN to directly pay the blobbers for storage. So ZeroBox is a pass-through at that point, and basically you have control over everything. And ZeroBox is just a UI at that point. But ZeroBox for credit card type of usage is really for people who are using Dropbox today. They are not crypto users. They just want private storage. and I would say 90% of the market is there, and we don't want to alienate those people. We want to provide them a private cloud service. So we are allowing credit cards on our platform so that they can buy tokens. They can buy our service, and then we basically buy storage from the bloggers. So in a way, whatever amount of money, whatever revenue we get, essentially we are buying ZCNs on the exchange as a proxy for them, because we need to pay the bloggers for storage.
Okay, and so next question, a little bit connected with this one. It's more about why you did not add your token to some decentralized exchange. What are the permissionless like Uniswap, and don't want to provide some liquidity there at the start of the project?
So we are listed on IDEX, which is a decentralized exchange, as well as Bitfinex, Itfinex, and Bilaxy, I believe. All of these exchanges basically decided to list us, and they listed us for free. Now, going forward, we have a plan. We have a marketing plan first to basically increase the awareness of zero chain and have more users and develop the community across Asia, across Russia, which is why we're talking to you guys on YouTube. And then we want to basically go to the listing agencies. Now, we are in contact with them. It's not like we are not. So we are in contact with some of the some of the big centralized exchanges, and we plan to list over there. Why we didn't list to other decentralized exchanges? Well, we didn't make that effort because we thought the bigger exchanges are the centralized ones like Binance, KuCoin, Huobi, and those are the exchanges that we want to get on. So we just wanted to focus on those guys.
Okay, understandable. In your summary, you compare zero chain with Algorand, Dfinity, Filecoin, Storage Seer, and Tezos. Can you tell us a little bit more about Advanced Zero Chain at these companies?
Yeah, so if you, I know these are more publicly publicized projects. So Algorand, Hashgraph, Dfinity. We took elements from all of these guys and built our blockchain protocol. We're probably the closest to Dfinity, and then we took some elements from Algorand, some elements from Hashgraph. If you look at Algorand, Dfinity, and Hashgraph, they all have the concept of multiple leaders. So they're all, by the way, Byzantine fault-tolerant protocols, but they allow multiple leaders, and that prevents DDoS attacks, which was attractive to us. So we are also like that, where we prevent DDoS attacks, and we have multiple leaders, and they're chosen with VRF. So it's a verifiable random function that chooses the leader. And then what we have introduced is a view change, which Algorand doesn't have, Dfinity doesn't have, Hashgraph doesn't have. So something that's new. So we have a finite set, finite active set, and that set changes as new miners come in, they stake, and they get onto the set. And we have introduced what is called squared proof of stake. So instead of staking just your coins, we say you have to stake square of that value. So whatever you're staking, your stake, the probability of chances of getting in is squared. That prevents Sybils. So we are actually a little bit more secure than some of the other networks because we are Sybil resistance. We have better Sybil resistance because we offer the squared staking. And the view changes, in our case, basically, view change is something where you change the number of miners. You change the miners, right? So when you change the miners, if you look at Algorand, Dfinity, and Hashgraph, they don't change per se miners. In our case, we basically change every n periods, and that is done in a very in a newer protocol. It's something that's used by there's a paper written on it. It's joint Feldman technique, where everybody does a key generation and then distributes the keys and then enters the network. So it's a very I guess it's a decentralized process of getting in, as opposed to, and it's a faster way of changing the view. So that all basically net, we are a faster protocol as a result and more resilient to network attacks, whether it's DDoS or Sybil.
Okay, but all these projects have a loyal community around, and in the opinion of next guy who asked the questions, you have now two groups of dissatisfied peoples. It's investors in the ZCN token because the price was never exceed the price of ICO. And second group is dissatisfied miners who have equipment and waiting for the start of mining. Are you going to do something with these groups, and how will you deal with the reasonable negative aimed at the project from these groups?
Right. So, by the way, the mining group, they, from what I understand, some of them have the equipment ready now. But we told the miners that we will come out with the beta net end of last month. So there has been some delay. So it's not too bad in terms of the delay. Probably, we just want to make sure we do it right and the miners don't have to do as much work. So part of it is automating it so that it's easy for miners to get on board. And that will happen probably 2 to 3 weeks, when we have these miners join our network. So I don't think that group is that dissatisfied because it's only been like 10 days. But the token price is a function of mindset, people, and also number of users, right? I'm thinking the mindset needs to change. We have now SDK out. We will have hackathons. We are gonna now market to user groups and developer groups across Asia. And we feel that that's where the altcoin market is, as well as Russia, by the way. We feel that's where the altcoin will gain traction. So and we have a good project. So I think our tech-wise we are good. We just haven't built the community yet. But if you look at some of the other projects, they have been around longer. So they built up the tech and then they started developing their community. And we didn't want to spend money on marketing because we wanted to make sure our development is going to be completed. And now that it's going to be completed, now we're going to start spending money on marketing and getting as many users on board and token holders from different parts of the nation, of the world, especially Asia. So that's our target right now, basically China, Korea, and of course Russia.
Okay, thanks. The next question, I don't know, you can ask for it, and if you don't, you can skip it easily. What is your burn rate at the moment? What was the average burn rate from the beginning of the private sale? How much money does the company have? And accordingly, for how long is enough money? And what is the plan if the money runs out?
So, okay, so we will deliver the mainnet, number one. Number two, so basically we will fulfill the promise that we made to the community. We will deliver the mainnet. That's so you can take that to the bank. Number two is we are doing something with marketing. So we will have a marketing push, which right now we can do because now we have the products. We have the products, we have the mainnet coming out in a few months. In terms of if we run out of money, I guess the question would be, why would we not attract capital? That would be my question. It's not that we won't be able to attract capital. One of the things we're doing is really if you look at ZeroBox, it's a dApp on top of zero-chain net that alone will bring in revenue, and so it should be able to attract not just crypto VCs but traditional VCs, because it's a application like no other that is available today. If you look at any of the crypto projects out there, there isn't an application that has a revenue source that they can point to. Here, once our mainnet is live, we get traction with our product, we should be able to garner investors. I'm talking about traditional investors. Traditional investors look for two things. One, is the product good and out there, and is there traction? And I believe based on the response from the community, we will have traction on our product, because people are asking for a private cloud setting, especially on the crypto side, that want to use ZCN. So I think we will gain traction of our project. And then the fundraising can come from traditional investors as well as crypto investors. So I would say we are in this kind of a time frame, I would say 3 months to 6 month time frame, where we think there should be a big explosion in terms of adoption of our token as well as our products.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, it's a lot of rough questions, but it's what is interesting from our auditory, from our viewers. Sorry for this, but it's how it is. And next questions. You have changed your target audience for products several times. As first it was an enterprise, then it was individual users. What part of the market are you currently targeting? How do you want to attract the attention of this audience besides high-end marketing firms that often simply burn your money in crypto space?
Right. So, well, I mean, last year, the crypto was hot, right? And the enterprises were all talking about, what is your blockchain strategy? If you look at analyst calls, right? All big enterprises, the analysts were asking, what is your blockchain strategy? So they were putting money in there, and we wanted to capture that money, and so we went up to that. And then, when the crypto price dropped, and it dropped like a rock, the enterprises dropped their interest. It was that simple, and we had to pivot. The thing is, we were agile in pivoting. So we pivoted toward the consumer market, and we targeted the crypto consumers. And now, if you see, the enterprises are now coming back on, but now we are focusing really on storage. Our message is really decentralizing storage, and our message is that we're going to address the crypto market. They value privacy, they value anonymity. So we're going to target the crypto users as well as the generic mass consumers who value privacy. They don't care about the crypto side. And then we're also going to basically target the enterprises. The enterprises, how do we enter the market? So if you look at the enterprise, there is different parts of the enterprise. There is the enterprise, the big enterprises, which we're not going to target. There is small, medium enterprises. They're called SMEs. And then there's small, medium businesses. Now, the small, medium businesses are the ones that we want to target with MSPs. MSPs are managed service providers. And, there are thousands of MSPs today selling storage to the small, medium businesses. And they're global. Like if you look at Ingram Micro or Tech Data, they are a global corporation. They are valued resellers, valued distributors, and they work with thousands of MSPs across the world. and all they do is basically sell storage and data backup services. So those are the guys we want to target to, and we want to target to them and tell them, look, you're selling storage now, but you can make more money by selling our storage, the zero chain storage, and you can also make additional revenue by being a miner, because you can have your own rig, and that's an additional source of income. Why are you giving that to AWS or Azure, right? So that's our message to these MSPs. And we have hired a marketing firm to do just that in the US. And if it's successful, then basically we go global with that.
Okay, thanks. And next question is, how much terabyte would you like to take at the momentum in a year, and what will be the price for 1 terabyte with using zero chain service?
So the pricing would be based on the market price.
But what is your prediction about this?
So the market price, we're thinking that we should market it at least at 50% of AWS. So AWS sells today for 0.02 per GB per month. We should price it at least, if not less than 0.01. So that would be our beginning price. Now, you could market it differently. Like you could say, okay, if my erasure code is 1020 instead of 1016, or 1030, then I can charge more. Or if my erasure code setting is less, let's say it's 33 or 36, I can charge less. Maybe it'll be 0.005. So it really depends on what your strategy is. And we're gonna basically put together right now one solution, so it's easy to sell. So which will be the 0.01 is what we're targeting, which is half the AWS price. And we also want to fix the read price to like 0.02, which is like half of Azure and about about 3 or 4x less than AWS. But we want to basically be less than Azure, less than Google Cloud, and less than AWS across the board. But the read price, we want to basically fix the read price. So that's something that the miners cannot change. It'll be set by the governance protocol. And the reason for that is it basically allows the MSP to know how much to budget when they go out and talk to their customers about the cost of the total storage and basically read cost.
Okay, thanks. The next question.
May I ask some question? Why people should use your service instead of Amazon Web Services, as you say, or Azure or something like that, Google Cloud, and non-blockchain services? And we have also blockchain services as SIA, Storage, and Filecoin. Why people should use zero chain?
Right. So there are, I would say, 3 reasons. One, we are faster. We are about 5 to 6 times faster in terms of upload and download, because we do things in parallel. We send it to let's say 10 servers in parallel on the upload side as well as the download side, instead of one server. Okay, so that's one. Second is we are more available. So you can think of us as a CDN, content delivery network, where we're spreading the data. Let's say you do 1020, then you're spreading the data in 20 servers. So there are 20 data centers across the region, and you've spread the data around, so it's more available, and you don't have to spend more money on CDN service. So think of us as like a CDN service on top of the storage service, which AWS charges for. So essentially it's more available. And the third aspect is that the people, in terms of comparing us with SIA or Filecoin and those guys, they don't have a product, but if they do, they're going to be slower because their protocol is based on that, based on a slower scheme in order to prevent attacks. They're outsourcing attacks. We are going to be faster than SIA because we have a fast blockchain and everything is done in parallel. Whereas SIA, I believe it is done with they first basically commit the data on the blockchain before they upload the data. So it is slower mechanism. So it's basically the performance. And, and if you go up against traditional Azure and AWS, we have blockchain level verification. That's one of the biggest selling points, because today people are looking for, how good is my disaster recovery? How good is my backup? Well, we check it with challenges. We check it on a regular basis. We check if your data is backed up. We check if your disaster recovery solution is as good as it was advertised. So we check it on a daily basis or an hourly basis. It could be configurable on how fast the challenges are. And this is all challenged via blockchain.
Okay, and the next questions, it's a little bit about competition. How can you compete with, for example, SIA, that now 10 times cheaper than Amazon, who have been working in the market since July 16th, and who have a very loyal and dedicated community?
But you just ask this question, Alex.
I want to
about advantages. You want to hear about advantages?
I want to understand how it's possible to be on the market from 0chain instead of SIA have only about 400 terabytes now for the storage.
Yeah. So actually, we are kind of surprised that SIA, there's not much storage that, not much data is stored. That tells you that their adoption is very low, because if you try to put data into SIA, it is very hard. It takes 2 days to set up. And that's a put off for anyone, right? Which is why, people are using or gonna use third party like Goobox or Filebase. Which I'm not sure if those services are available yet, generally available yet. So in a sense, SIA is not available for resellers out there. They're kind of the same stage as we are in terms of marketing it to enterprises or to the consumers. There isn't anything there. Now, if you look at our app, we make it very easy for the consumers to store or back up their data. Okay, we have basically as easy user interface as, say, Dropbox. So I think our UI and user experience for the consumers would be very nice, very attractive. In that sense, we will compete with SIA very well. Now, on the enterprise side, I would look at our storage as enterprise grade storage. I don't know how many people in SIA are, using their hard drive in their homes or whatever, right? SIA doesn't specify what you can use. In our case, we have a specific equipment that you want to use, so we can provide enterprise grade level service, and we can certify those rigs. So and then we can market it to MSPs, and MSPs themselves will be basically, and their MSPs are essentially IT guys, and they can provide their storage in data centers as well. So I think we want to be addressed as enterprise grade storage, and we want the rigs to be in data centers. That's our preferred approach, and we have partnerships now with CoreSite, Cogent, to provide that at a low cost. So if you're within our network, you will get that low cost pricing to go on the data centers. Now, initially, you may have it in your office, right, in a rack, but as you grow, we can provide that level of pricing because you're part of the 0chain network, and we can kind of have a group pricing that is very attractive. So that's the way to compete. That's how we will compete with SIA. But the way I'm looking at this whole decentralized storage space, we actually want SIA to succeed to some extent. Just like I think SIA would like us to succeed, because at the end of the day, it's a huge market. What if we become number one, SIA becomes number two? We're okay with that. Real competition is really AWS, Azure. If we can get market share away from them, this is great, because there's 35 zettabytes out there today. It's gonna grow to 175 zettabytes. Where is it gonna go? Is it gonna go to the traditional data centers, or some of it is gonna be decentralized? If we get 1 zettabyte, our token price should be in triple digits, right? Because we, unlike SIA, our token is tied to data. So whatever data is on our network has to be staked. So if you're a provider, you have to stake tokens to store that data. And therefore, if you look at the mathematical relationship between staked tokens to store that data on our network, it'll be in the triple digits if we have 1 zettabyte.
Okay, understandable. And next questions. Would you like to additionally lock company tokens for some time to show faith in the long life of 0chain as a company, and the owner users of tokens could be sure that there is no pressure on the price from the company, although there will be pressure to the price from the miners?
Okay, I didn't quite understand that question. Maybe you can...
Guy asked, maybe you want to additionally lock company tokens for some time to show.
So yeah, absolutely. So the team tokens will be locked because we want to use most of it, if not all of it, for protecting the network. So initially, the team tokens will be used to secure the network. Remember, we will have 66% that will need consensus. So let's say we get X number of friendly miners. We want to make sure that we have enough tokens to secure the network. And we have a vested interest in making sure the token value increases. And so we're not out there to sell our tokens. That's not our game plan at all. In fact, if anything, we will raise equity, so that we are not diluting any of our tokens to other investors. So that's our plan right now, to raise equity. If any funding, it'll be based on equity, and we'll be locking the team tokens for the security of the mainnet.
And if I understand correctly, it's locked on your mind, not on the paper. Yeah?
Locked. Yeah, on the mainnet it'll be locked. You can see it locked.
Okay.
On the mainnet, because right now we don't have. So we have smart contract. You can see. By the way, the Zero Wallet will be coming out either this week or next week for you guys to preview and take a look at. And you will see, like, when you can lock the tokens, you will see it locked, and it's locked. You can see it on the Explorer.
Okay, nice. And you talk about governance protocol. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, how it will be?
Yeah, so the governance protocol will be kind of, we looked at Tezos, and it's, by the way, we published this paper at a conference in Europe, and, got a good response from the academic community, got accepted there. So what this governance protocol is, we call it a ping pong governance protocol. And it's a very simple protocol, and there's only yes or no to a proposal. So let's say you propose the interest rate or the inflation rate to be, instead of 10%, you want to reduce it to 8% or increase it to 12% or what have you. Then you can propose that, and then you have people staking tokens, and those tokens will be essentially burned. so depending on who the winner is, if you have more yeses than nos, then basically that person wins. But the tokens for both parties are essentially burned. So and this is infinite rounds. This can go on for infinite rounds. There is no last block attack. You cannot get into the last moment and tilt the vote to your favor, because there's a second round of voting that you can basically overturn it. So let's say the yeses win the first round, then there is an opportunity for the guys who wants to vote no to come out and vote no. And so this will go on until basically one party wins. And each time you're doing this round, there will be additional tokens that you need to stake each round. So each round, basically, there's a percentage higher from the previous round, and so forth. And those are the ones that basically kind of at a high level. Of course, at a detailed implementation level, there will be additional stuff that that will be implemented, like what is the minimum stake for a proposal, what is the time limit, right, for each round. So those are some of the details we will implement.
Okay, it's interesting. And last question is, what are the biggest mistakes made during the existence of the company?
Biggest mistakes by whom? By us, or?
Oh yeah, by you, or by all the company, I don't know.
If you have some mistakes, of course, in your opinion.
Oh, okay.
Or you're just perfect.
Yeah, well, the biggest mistake was to not sell, not to convert the Ethereum to USD. I thought Ethereum was a pretty good coin. It's not going to fall like a rock, but maybe we should have converted to BTC, or obviously to USD would have been perfect. But it did go down rapidly, and it's unfortunate, but these things happen. But we were able to deliver on our promise. In fact, we over-delivered. If you look at how much we delivered on the tech side in terms of the protocols, in terms of the white papers, in terms of the products, we have over-delivered. In terms of marketing, we have not yet done that. So that's something that we are starting now, because now we know the tech is basically under completion. We can see the end of the tunnel for our tech. So now we're engaging the marketing. I think it's easier to do the marketing side now that we have a product that people can try. They can use the SDK. This is a viable product in the traditional marketplaces. So in a sense, it's easier to market that. Running out of money is always not a good thing, but we are fortunate that we have developed a tech, and now we have enough capital to do some marketing that will get us awareness, and we'll see how it goes. We are talking to very interested people who are taking a close look at our company. SIA got traditional funding, so that also actually helps our cause, because they're into decentralized storage. So are we. We have a better tech, better products out there. So people are going to take a look at us. They should. If they shouldn't, then there's something wrong with them.
Okay.
Guys from our chat are saying the 0chain is one of the best projects in my opinion. Very undervalued. Guys thinking you're good project. So we'll waiting for your updates and news about your project. Thank you for coming to our little AMA session.
Sorry for the rough questions. Sorry for the rough questions. We have last shout out to our viewers or something.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I first of all, I enjoyed all the questions, and I'm pretty much open in terms of answering all the questions. I think in terms of where we're in this position, we're doing the best we can in terms of delivering our objectives, and our objective is always to increase the value of the token. That has never changed from day one. I know some people have questioned it, but that has never changed, and that shouldn't change because we are incentivized. We hold the most tokens, so we are incentivized. So we want to do everything we can to increase the value of the token, and that's right now on the marketing front to get people to be aware that there is a project called 0chain that exists and has been in development for 2 years and has created wonderful products and solutions that regular people can use. It's not just crypto people. So it is a viable alternative to today's storage. We are decentralizing storage. We have created a new crypto asset, which is ZCN, and it's secure with zero wallet. And the network is secure because we have DDoS protection, Sybil protection. Our view changes are based on squared staking and distributed key generation. So I think once they take a deeper look at us, everybody would get excited about what we are. And I think in terms of the token price, once this price starts going up, I think people will rally around it and get the word out even more, and not feel the way most people are feeling today because the token price is down and most of the other token prices are higher up. But thank you very much for having this. And part of this messaging is getting on YouTube channels like yours and getting the message out. And I'm feel free to ask me any questions. No questions are tough questions. I'm here to answer those tough questions. And if I don't, I should be liable to answer these questions. So thank you very much for having me on and having spread the word to your community.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I'm sure that you have a good product, and if you can attract some attention from the users, you will have success, definitely. So thank you very much for coming and have Amo with us. And I think that now we're trying to do some
summary with our Russian speaking guys. Can you please cancel the call, because I don't know how to do it in
Sure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot one more time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Encrypted. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Отлично. Ну, в общем, кто там, если есть еще живые?
Отлично. Отлично. В принципе, давай что, подведем для тех, кто не шпрехает на азербайджанском.
Да. На азербайджанском. Так, с чего начнем? В принципе, они сравнивают себя говорят, что основная их фишка – это приватный блокчейн для хранения данных. Вот. В общем, они говорят, что преимущество их перед файлкоином и SEA, я, правда, перед файлкоином до конца не услышал, это в том, что скорость. У них другие способы защиты от атак, типа атак цивила и таких прочих, и они типа быстрее. Вот это одно из основных преимуществ, они хотят быть дешевле, чем Amazon Web Services, Azure и Google Cloud. Вот типа это то, что он заявил. Но пока продукта как бы нет, они сказали, что...
Не, продукт как бы есть, просто они еще как бы, нормально не начали...
Паблики.
Да.
То есть... как бы, ребята обещали доделать там ближайшие, что там, пару недель, 2-3 недели или что? Или 2-3 месяца?
Через 2 недели, запустимся. Майнеров вообще через неделю хотят запустить, как я понял.
Ну, то есть они говорят, что достаточно... работают они. Вот что они говорят.
Да, и говорят, что, дескать, пытались сделать все, что могут ради того, чтобы цена постоянно поднималась. Видимо, они имели в виду, что, дескать, своим продуктом, разработкой продукта, потому что, по-моему, выкупать они сильно ничего не выкупали, может быть, чуть-чуть только. Говорит
еще очень жалеет о том, что не слил эфир. Одной из основных ошибок считает, что не слили эфир по по тому курсу, которому они собирали, и потому что он полетел вниз. Ну вот, как бы.
Да. Что еще из интересного он сказал, что дескать, сейчас данных там, забыл, как называется, какая там приставка, zero byte, и, соответственно, хватит всем, типа, рынок огромный, и, типа, надо просто откусывать у больших компаний свой кусок, и все тогда будет хорошо. Что они сильно не конкуренты с другими децентрализованными решениями, потому что места хватит всем. Потому что сейчас AWS, там, Cloud, кто там, Google Cloud и Dropbox в большей части захватили рынок и не пускают, ну, и сильно никого других больших нету. Если даже у них чуть-чуть откусывать, то хватит всем, и тогда цена токена взлетит в небеса. В принципе, наверное, все. Маркетинговую движуху, вот это я вижу в чате, маркетинговую движуху, как я понял, они вот как раз сейчас начинают и потихоньку что-то пытаются делать, привлекать. Как я понял, они наняли 2 компании, по-моему, маркетинговые. Он говорил на прошлом маму на английском. И пытаются сосредоточиться на азиатском рынке и получить оттуда много пользователей. Ну и как бы между делом захватили там и русскую аудиторию через нас, и американскую пытаются привлекать.
Ну да, то есть они сказали, что они не хотят тратить деньги на маркетинг, пока нет продукта. Типа они пока вот сделают продукт, потом типа будут делать маркетинг. Ну, если эта стратегия будет жить, тогда, ну, просто обычно так же не работает. Обычно ты делаешь маркетинг, потому что, ну, подогреваешь интерес, потому что люди хотят разбирать твой продукт как горячие пирожки. Я просто не знаю, ну, насколько... Ну, сложно, как по мне, я не сильно шарю в zero chain, ну, именно конкретно в этом проекте, но, как по мне, это достаточно сложно будет конкурировать с такими мастодонтами, блин, в плане облачного хранения данных. И я не знаю, там должна быть прям киллер-фича, не просто цена дешевле там, или, ну, еще какие-то штуки, там должно быть что-то больше.
Да, мне тоже так кажется, но, в принципе, мне кажется, логичной стратегией здесь должно быть просто через связи, через свои найти каких-то людей, которые изначально попробуют продукт и начнут, типа, рассказывать всем другим остальным, какой он классный и так далее. И без изначальных связей это просто будет нереально, ну, распространить продукт просто за счет того, что просто у тебя цена дешевле. Всем как бы пофиг, потому что, он, предположим, все юзают Amazon, несмотря на то, что он очень дорогой, и просто он дает уверенность, и просто легче настраивается, и все его юзают просто потому, что он является, типа, стандартом. Поэтому я не думаю, что там в 2 раза цена, это же не люди платят из своего кармана, это компания платит. Компания, пришел человек, сказал, так, мне надо, чтобы это все работало, там, столько-то денег. И компания такая, ну надо, так надо, и не думаю там о том, как оптимизировать все это. В общем, мне кажется, конечно, ценой они не возьмут, им надо какие-то более активность большую делать.
Ну, сказал, что у них там есть, что-то там они задумали, какие-то задумки, там уже посмотрим. Если будет маркетинговая активность, тогда, я думаю, мы уже увидим, как они работают, и, ну, и там будет мелькать везде, в чатиках, в каналах, на сайтах, будем тоже освещать, если будет что-то интересное у ребят. Вот. Вот так вот. Вроде бы все.
Давай тогда заканчивать. В принципе, прошло плохо. Большинство вопросов, которые были, задали.
Угу. Ну тогда, окей, если что, там заходите завтра на стрим тоже будет Леха, будет Игнат. Он не будет такой тяжелый для восприятия, он будет на русском. И поговорим больше про рыночек, и будет интересно. Все, всем спасибо, кто пришел. Все, всем пока.
Пока-пока.